experience is the experiment.
Today's guest hails right outside of Baltimore, Maryland.
Yes.
He makes alternative rock music. He's my buddy, and he's also accompanied by Mr. Danny Shyman. You guys all know Danny Shyman. That was a terrible intro. Please welcome today's guest, Will Wells. What's
Hello.
going on?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Just chilling. Doing great. Great new studio. This is so much sicker than I saw it when you first moved in. It's like definitely coming.
It was all orange.
It's like totally done.
Yeah. It's
But we're doing good. Was working with Danny earlier. So he's here in his cool sweater. And yeah, bro.
It is a cool sweat. Is that what you were talking about? Is all alpaca? Alpaca?
You got it?
Yeah, I think that was it.
Keep moving.
Alfalfa
Should we keep it moving?
sprouts.
Is that made from sprouts?
So, Will, you just released your first song under Will Wells.
Yes.
And
Yep.
it's called Teeth.
Yes, it is.
And it's awesome.
Thank you.
Tell us
Wow.
about it.
It is a song about lying through your teeth. It's pretty direct in the lyrics. Like, it's something that I've been sitting on for a bit and I've been working on with Danny. It's like the first song that we did together. And it's fun. It's like kind of a little intro into what we've been working on since and kind of what influences I have been inspired by and Danny's kind of inspired by and like shaping with me this world. But yeah, I'm excited it's out.
What would this song look like if you just did it on your own and you went and just like had somebody record, but they had no creative aspect? How different would it look?
Well, it would definitely be longer. I had like a lot to the song when I brought it to Danny. Like there was like longer verses, longer pre's and stuff. And I remember we just kind of sat down and he was like, we should just cut all this part because he was like, why are you saying this? Like no one, you just get to the bones, which I love to have because sometimes I will, as like an artist, be like, what else do I need to say? You know?
Mhm.
And it's like, you already said it.
How much of your process when you get in with artists, Danny, is just the initial part of it is just cutting half of what they have, like, or cutting a lot of the fat, I should say.
I mean, it kind of just happens differently every time, I'd say. Yeah. I mean, in that case, it was like that. Probably there's other songs where we need to do the opposite, you know, add more in.
For sure.
Definitely no kind of strict regimen of gonna do it. This is the first thing I do every time. I definitely want to hear the song. If there is a song outside of like a production, I'd like to hear that usually.
And that's just like where you're starting. Do most artists, would you say, come with too much versus too little?
I wouldn't say that. I would more say that this one was particularly fun because it was just an open canvas. So if I don't hear any production, which I don't think I did. You might have played me something.
Yeah,
but,
I think I played it on acoustic for you.
Right.
It was also so fresh. Like I wrote it within the week I showed him. So it was like, I mean, there was so many routes in the way we had it, I guess.
Yeah.
It was just kind of about trimming and being like, where do we want to take this out of the acoustic, I guess.
Yeah, that song specifically too, like he had these ideas for these big hits on the chorus. So it gives you a lot to play with, I think, when you can hear that's the most fun to me, is like the imagining at the beginning. It's like, what if we did this? What if we did that? You know?
And since putting it out, so just to give people kind of an update on you started Will Wells, like the project, pretty recently.
Yeah,
but
for
before
sure.
that, you had a band, and then we're also kind of working on another project.
Yeah, well, for a long time, I was in my band Waiters with Garrett, who is a producer and friend.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, I was also doing a lot of like session stuff with Mikey and doing a lot of songwriting and just doing guitar for other artists, my friends, and then getting on tours and just kind of living that way. Knowing in the back of my head, like, oh, I have all these things I want to say, but I just never really felt like I had the self, like, I just never really felt like I could do it and do what I was doing at the time of like playing guitar for other people and doing all these things. So it ended up being like, all right, I got to start saying no to a lot of things. And
So like when you're on tour with Felly and you're going out and you know you can do your job really well and it's fun, is there ever part of you that's like, maybe I should just do this? Like this is easier. I don't have to do the promotion side and all that. Because I know there was this side of you that's like, what the fuck am I doing? I should be the one who people are here to see.
yeah, I mean, that was less of what it is. I mean, it's more about like, I like writing and I like telling my story, I guess.
Yeah.
And telling, like getting music in the world that maybe isn't so like digestible and commercial, I guess. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like growing up, I was so inspired by different types of music that I just want to be making music that feels like all of them combined.
Yeah. Like, do you feel fulfilled if you play a good show with an artist on tour?
Yeah, for sure. And live, like that's a big thing too. Like I just love live performance, and I feel like getting that into the recording is really big. And I want to do that.
Or being
Big
attacked
time.
by
Oh,
the
you're
cat.
good. But yeah, I mean, playing a live show in any regard is so fun. I mean, I loved doing the Felly tour, and you know, even doing that tour, I was still in some regard like trying to like write with him, and like now that the tour's over, we've been like writing and stuff. So it's like it's not just being the guitar player, you know. I do like doing
Pause
more.
for 2 seconds.
Yeah, for sure.
Pass out of here. Nobody will see the pause.
No, you're good. Actually, someone's been like calling me off the hook.
Shit, man.
Bye, Hemingway.
Go. Sorry. We're back.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, playing live sick.
And now that you're an artist in the sense of you're kind of you're on this like trajectory on your own. You don't have a band to lean on. You don't have other people to take up any of the work. At the end of the day, everybody else is kind of brought on versus part of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
it's kind of like the sense. Like the sense of being an artist. Now you're on your own.
Yeah, for sure.
What does that look like as far as like taking it seriously to get your product? Like you can have a great product, but if nobody hears it, then it's not a career. What have you done differently to kind of start moving the needle in the direction of like turning this into a legitimate business for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's very early still, but getting, you know, playlisting as much as I can. I know people are like, it does matter about it, but just getting it out, honestly, in any way I can. I'm just like hitting up people, finding people through Instagram, Spotify, or Apple Music, and just literally cold emailing or cold DMing or whatever it takes. And then social media stuff, trying to do that.
What's the cold emailing process look like? Are you finding like looking for like agents and like booking agents and managers and shit like that?
No, I don't think I need any of that yet. I mean, just seeing all my friends and peers like go through this and like how they were doing stuff early on, I think has been helpful for me to see. Like, I think there's a lot of things that maybe 2 years ago, if I was doing this, I would have been like, this is what I need. And now that I've seen like what I can do without things, you know what I mean? Like right now I'm like, I don't really think I need like a serious, like a manager in like a social media sense, or like,
you're willing to do the work,
you know? Yeah. Like a friend of mine said, like, do as much things you can for free by yourself that you can, early on. Like,
Yeah.
that's huge.
Well, if you have any money to allocate, put it in the places that you legitimately cannot do on your own.
Yeah.
Like if it's a lawyer or
Yeah,
like things that you
really don't know or like
you
need
can't
help
just
with.
learn. And
Totally.
you still need to be an advocate for yourself in those positions and like understand how to like basically redline a contract so you at least know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need to be there's like the few steps that you need to outsource. But
For sure.
But I agree, if you can keep as much in-house as possible, first of all, you'll then know when it's time to upgrade.
Yeah.
When you're like, I'm doing this really well and I could be doing it even better or even more of it. That's when it's time to outsource or get a manager or something. But yeah.
Totally. That's the thing. It's like only like I feel like you only really need those things when it's like actually too much or like you're getting so booked. It's like, okay, now I need, because at the end of the day, you're giving up a piece of your own, like piece of the pie, So it's like, why? I don't know. I'm more like try to do it as best you can first. And then when it actually becomes too much, and it will become too much if you're consistent and you're growing.
That's the goal.
Like just grow. And when it's like, okay, I'm growing too much or like I can't, it's affecting like how much I can make music. It's like, that's when you need to pass the torch. It's like, okay.
Well, when it becomes an investment that has some sort of ROI on it,
for sure.
You're not just doing it because it's a good title or something to be like, hey, my manager can reach out when you might as well at that point just make up a manager's name and emails that person.
Yeah, totally.
That's just as handy.
I mean, the look of it definitely sometimes I guess helps.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's about it at that point. Like,
totally.
Unless somebody's coming in who has just as much skin in the game, like you go find somebody who just really wants this as badly as you do, and they're going to put as much skin in the game as you are, to combat the creative side of it, then I guess that's a different thing. And like you see people who are like, yes, my manager has been with me 10 years. We were best friends growing up. And like, I guess that's a different thing.
Totally.
When you're finding somebody to produce with, somebody like Will, where you're doing this much music with them, and somebody who maybe is starting off a new project like Will, where it's like ground zero and then build from there. What do you kind of need to convince you to work with somebody on that kind of level where you're helping grow an artist versus, somebody walking in who's already got their foot in the door?
Man, that's a tricky question. Definitely a lot to that question. I mean, I can answer maybe specifically just in Will's case.
Yeah.
Because that seems easier. I feel like he has a really like a willingness to be open about things. Like he's not, I say this in the best way, he's not super stuck on like what needs to be all the time. And that makes like a fun creative environment for sure. So I don't know that there's like a criteria checklist. I hate to sound cliche, but it's a bit more of a vibe of like, could I see myself like getting along creatively with this person day in, day out, where I'm not having these moments of like, where our taste is like just so, because it's not about like necessarily genres of music or like, we share that, but it's more just like, what do they think is saucy, good? Like,
Well, I guess that's kind of like what got you on the tour with Felly too. Is like, there's a lot of really, really, really elite guitar players, including yourself. But it's like, who do you want to sit on a bus with? And like the 99% of the time when you're on the phone with your mom, who do you want to be in the room?
Yeah. Well, thanks. I mean, I think that's a huge part of just being, everything in this industry is like social, and it's like, it doesn't mean you have to be like not super outgoing.
Yeah.
It just means like, I don't know. I think a lot of times just being down, being a good hang, and like being, talented and like bringing to the table what you can is like the recipe,
Also, he has passion for the recording process, I'd say. So that's
Yeah.
like huge.
Yeah, the
'Cause-
production side.
Because I'm not like the fastest. And sometimes my best ideas come after like 2 bad ideas that might take a while
Yeah.
to flesh out. So I think to his credit, like the patience and the willingness to be like, let's see where this goes. Like, you know,
Enjoy the process almost. It's like you can sit in it and understand that you might take 5 steps forward, 2 steps back, but eventually you're going to take 10 steps forward.
yeah. And
Absolutely.
sometimes he's like, Danny, you're going to kill me. And like, it's probably some comment about like, we got to re-record this. And I'm like, not really. You're kind of speaking my language. Like,
Yeah.
the immediate instinct is, oh boy, more work. But it's like, there's also a comfort that you're willing to be like, got to be better, man.
More work for the right reasons.
Yeah, we got to do it again.
Yeah, it's all about the song too. It's just like what you do is what is heard, you know. And sometimes we can sit and like overthink stuff or things that wouldn't be noticed per se.
Yeah.
Like Kane talked to me about it for a while. He's like, sometimes you just trip about things that like someone just driving home in their car would never be like, they should have used this pedal instead of this tone, you know? It's like,
Yeah, we were talking at Danny's, 2 weeks ago, the
Yeah.
3 of us. From the same people who brought back your balls and made your bush bearable brings you the Beard Hedger. There's one thing about travel that I hate more than anything in the world, and that is bringing 20 different little clip guards just to get the right shave. Not anymore. Manscaped has your back. The Beard Hedger has 20 built-in clipping lengths, so you do not have to worry about losing them anymore. Not only that, but this thing is waterproof. It's cordless and it has a long-lasting battery, so you don't have to worry about this thing shutting off halfway through and looking like a dork for the rest of your day. Fellas, do me a favor. Stop going to your dates with clean, smooth balls and a gross-looking face. You need them to match. If you want to support me in this podcast, the best thing that you can do is support the sponsors. They help me keep going and make this something that I can continue to do. So do me a favor. Head to manscaped.com, use the code EXPERIMENT, and get 20% off and free shipping. That's 20% off and free shipping with the code EXPERIMENT at manscaped.com. Go get your Beard Hedger with 20 different clip lengths. And Kane was saying, he's like, sometimes I feel better just like not listening to it.
Yeah.
Than just like go into the session and be like, okay, let's just keep going.
Yeah.
But I actually,
cool.
I'd like to play devil's advocate on that thought.
Please.
I think that it's very easy to walk into a room and be like, oh, you guys are obsessing about that, and nobody's ever going to give a shit about that. But what if you take that idea and you say it 1,000 times for 1,000 different ideas? All of a sudden, you have a totally different picture of like a piece of art. So it kind of, that defines what you create, like all the obsessiveness, all the, you know, like that all has to be gone through to get what you need. And if not, then you don't do it. But if you do it, then there could be a really good reason you do it.
Yeah, it becomes an integral part of the process. If it's being done, it needs to be done.
And that's true too, because it's like we do that a lot. Like we will sit and be like, what is this tone we need, you know? And I think that's because we do have a production understanding, I think, sometimes about like the rock side of things, and especially guitar side of things, where me and you will definitely sit down and be like, like this isn't the right mic, or this isn't the right, which I love. I mean, I think that's a really fun part of producing, even though it might be tough sometimes. It's just like,
but I think that's why the records sound amazing.
Yeah, and the cohesiveness.
Like,
I mean, getting it cohesive and stuff. But I don't know. There's times and places too for just overthinking.
And how different is this record as Teeth than whatever's coming out next? Because I know we've talked, and you said the next route feels a little different.
Well, I mean, we are sitting on some songs that are definitely like me and Danny's kind of brainchild of like production, and then currently I'm also writing like an EP with just a live band. So the live band stuff which I'm so excited to record, I think is definitely more of like, you know, hitting something that I've been wanting to do for a while and hitting like what the sound of Will Wells like is, I guess.
Is that with Connor and Dylan?
Yeah, Connor and Dylan, yeah.
That'd be a fun podcast.
And Danny's been just like the absolute best. Like we've just been going to his place on Saturdays and writing, and he'll come in and like be like, this, we should do this. It's a lot of writing in the room. Yeah, it's super fun, and the songs are sounding really good, and I'm excited to put them through his new tape machine and
I don't
get
know
them
who
going.
I just did that to.
But yeah, I mean, I think as an artist too, it's like you got to dig through. You kind of got to do some digging and see like where you kind of want to end up. And like, it's not to say they're different, like in terms of good or bad. It's like, I think these songs that we have now that are coming out next year are just like, I love them, you know, and I've had like one of them for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And just to hear it where it is now, I'm just like, oh man, this is like perfect. And it feels really good. So.
And what part of like the vision, like the footage that you're putting out with it, like you just did the video for Teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you getting all these ideas? Because I've never really seen something like that, and I know how long it took too.
The stop motion.
Yeah, is that because you could also have put something together in 50 minutes on fucking some app and made it and just been like, whatever.
I could have done that. I think I get a little stubborn, I guess, in like the creative side of that, because I'm like, I could do like an app or something with AI, but then I'm like, I don't think I would like that being out there. You know, like I think I like that it looks the way it looks, even though it took a long time. And I honestly didn't think it was going to take as long as it did.
It looks great. It looks cool.
I mean, there's a thing like, could I have not done that? Yeah, probably. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen in a few years from now if someone's like, if it comes as a new life, you know, at least it's out there, and that's what I'm more.
Well, is that like something you were into? Like if you were going as a kid and you were going to buy an album, was the album cover or the music video a big deal to you?
Yes.
Because that's,
I mean, it was like in terms of if it complemented, like if there was a true world there. I don't think just having a music video and like having cool art works every time. It's like, I really like being let into something, or like having things match and having like a cohesiveness where it's like you're looking at the song almost. It's like, this is visually what I'm hearing, or like when they're in tandem like that, you know?
Yeah, it can like add to a song, but it's not going to make a shitty song better.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think it like makes or breaks a song if you have a video or not. I think it's just like an added like, here's like the door opening into this world, like come inside of this world and see what it looks like.
Interesting.
I also feel like, if I could chime in, I feel like you watch a video and you go on, like, depending on the video, remember that thing we went to?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. So you watch a video and you're like on this journey of the video, and then the experience of the video is enhanced by the music. And so you kind of like gain a dimension about the music. There's like a layer of depth that gets added, because now the song meant this one thing, and then you have a whole nother experience that you're attaching it to. But it's like a direct attachment. It's not like you're just walking down the street and you're listening to a song. That's a form of it. But this is just like, you watch this video and you hear this song, and that's all you do.
Yeah, it's built for that song.
And to that point, it's like, for Teeth, I didn't really think about a video until I was like, no, this really needs a video, because the song is like so honest to me. And it's like, I wanted it to look like I wrote all these words down, you know? And so it was like, well, the only real way to do that is to just write it down and scan it on a printer. And so it's like, I did, like, if that wasn't part of the idea, I probably just wouldn't have done anything, because it's like, it's not adding anything to the song at that point. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Well, and I guess part of the part of it that I thought was interesting is like what we were talking about before, how you can outsource certain parts, or you can just put in the extra hours and learn how to do what you need to do.
Yeah, for sure.
You could have outsourced it and you could have
Yeah.
paid somebody to do it, but you went and fucking cut out each piece of paper and put it into the printer
Yeah.
and scanned it and then did it again and again and again.
Yeah, that's back to just doing things as much you can on your own. I think it's like I don't know. That's huge to me, is just like doing things on your own, because then it's like you're not dealing with other people's interpretation of your own music. It's like, if you really want to be like an artist and like have your vision come across, it's like do most of the things you can
To complete
your
that
own
vision.
to like complete it. It's like not done. It's never done. Even live, it's like, I don't know, like what that song might take a different shape live, you know? It's like we don't, you know.
I can't imagine it wouldn't. There's 72 guitar parts.
Yeah, but it's
The bones will be the same.
yeah, it's a simple
Yeah.
idea.
It's just, yeah.
And what? So now that you're kind of your own artist and you're this individual rather than a group, what part are you struggling with the most?
I would say a month or two ago, I was definitely struggling with like my own, like, worrying about cohesiveness.
Mm.
But that's kind of gone away, because I'm just like, I've talked to Danny a lot about this too, where he's just like, as long as it's you and like the writing is naturally you, like it will always be cohesive, you know?
Yeah, the brand's kind of built in,
Mhm.
especially considering it's you and it's not like some
Yeah.
facade.
For sure. And then I think I haven't really been at a point ever where I'm like, this is harder than having a band or having like what I had, I guess.
Mhm.
You know, I do like being able to just be like, okay, calling things done, or having the ability to like put things out when I think I should, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think
There hasn't been any like moments where you have to finish writing a song because you have a session with Danny tomorrow and you have to also get the credits ready for this and you have to do this and you have to do that, where you've been like, this is a little too much.
not really. I think everything's been pretty manageable, especially with the timing we started working. Like, thankfully, it's like December, November are here, and like we kind of have a little time to like get our ducks in a row. Not that they aren't. It's like if it was earlier in the year and we had to put these songs out, like we would have done it. Like we would have finished it.
Yeah.
But I think I love working with Danny because it's like we also have like an understanding of like he's doing other things and like I like producing, and like he's down to like really see the music through and like wait on like, you know, not that we have to wait, but just because it's like the timing of it is like, I'm not trying to release music right now because it's December and stuff. It's like he's very open to being like, let's just get these right while we can, you know?
Yeah, using the time wisely.
Yeah. Using the time wisely, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Not that the songs are not right. It's just Danny's just very open to like, you know,
Well, if you're going to do it right.
yeah, being like doing it right, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like if you're going to waste time the right way. Like waste time because you're waiting for the right moment.
Yeah.
Waste is the wrong word, but
Or,
like
yeah, not
use
waste,
time.
but like using time. Like we're doing the band stuff a lot
Yeah.
and like really doing like writing sessions, and like I'll come over and we'll write on like, and like just listen and be like, okay, like what songs are we going to do for the EP with the band? And like, you know, just a lot of times too, it's just like building more relationship. It's like, you know, me and Connor and Dylan and Danny like are building a relationship, and it's like,
Absolutely.
I'm so thankful for the time now, because it's like we aren't rushing and we're not being like, we got to record this, you know. It's like we get time to like really be like building the friendship and like the understanding of like, oh, this is how Will likes to do things, and like Connor and Dylan are like having really good ideas, and then it's like, oh, in a couple months we'll record all of this, you know. And it's like, oh, we're already all on the same page, rather than it's like pulling the trigger and it's like maybe people are unhappy.
I like to also purposefully stay out of that for a little while, just to like,
Yeah.
because I'll just get in there and I'll just have, if it's second I hear something, I have an idea. So
Yeah.
it's, sometimes if you're in a room and you're trying to practice that idea, you're like, okay, I'm going to let them have an idea first and I'm going to get all my fucking idea.
Yeah.
Well, it gives you
But
the chance to be a producer later too,
Well,
and like
it's-
dive in.
It's just easier to just not show up because you're guaranteeing that everybody else can do their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when you're there, your job is to be like this, like conductor of all of them in a way. But like in those moments, that's not what they need. They all just kind of need to hold their own space and just fucking try shit.
And I think to your credit too, is like you can see us conducting our own way, and then you can kind of just. That's how it's honestly been. It's like we'll conduct some way or some song, and then Danny will be like, "Okay, I hear where you're going with it. Try it this way," and it's like amazing.
Yeah. So we can expect new music early 2024.
Yeah.
First hour of Tony 24.
First 10
Tony.
minutes. All
Who's
of the music.
Tony 24?
Tony 24.
When are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, like literally January, mid-January, early January. Just scheduling it. It just got to make sense for like release. Like I like to wait, like submit it and then give it a couple weeks,
As
like
you
3
should.
weeks, just to get it out there. If anyone wants to put it on a little playlist.
And if we were doing this podcast one more time a year from right now, what would you like to be able to say you did this year with the music?
I think the biggest thing I would like to do is tour it. I wish, hopefully touring that EP that we are talking about now, and
If you were going to support
having
on a tour,
people like listening to it,
if you're going to
pretty
support
regularly.
on a tour, who would it be with?
Man, supporting a tour, I would probably say. I actually want to hear what Danny would think too, because I'm curious. But I would probably say, that's a tough question. Who would you say?
I don't know. Kings of Leon.
Yeah, that'd be sick. That's definitely top.
That'd be
That's
insane.
like peak. That'd be sick.
Go straight to arenas.
Straight to arenas, dude. The Killers. No.
That's crazy.
I think I would be definitely stoked to get on some sort of like indie tour with like Briston Maroney or something.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Something that's like not too like crazy. Not to say he's not crazy, but like
Yeah.
something cool. Or like doing more festival stuff.
I was going to make a joke.
Go ahead, make the fucking
I was going to
joke.
make a joke. And by the time I got
To the
closer
mic.
to the mic, I was like, I'm
It's
not
dropped
gonna
it
say
the
that.
You smelled the mic, dude.
Better not say that.
But yeah.
Kings of Leon, baby.
Yes, let's go.
Green Day.
KOL.
Well, fuck yeah. This has been a fun, short podcast. We're going to do maybe this upcoming week.
I would
Maybe
love
we'll just
to.
do 2 weeks in a row of Wells.
I would love to.
Let's do that.
That'd be sick, dude.
3.
3 weeks?
You and Danny, this one. Next week is just you. Week after is the band.
Yes. I love that.
Connor.
You don't want Connor on your podcast.
No,
we're not
we
gonna,
do.
We're not going to show his face.
No,
though.
we want Connor.
You're gonna have the cops at your house
That's
within.
the goal. That's
Connor's
the
going to
goal.
immediately just say some crazy shit.
The one episode I have to cut shit.
Yeah.
Half of it. All right. Well, we'll make that happen.
Connor's Creed podcast.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you haven't heard Teeth and you haven't checked out Will Wells, go check him out. You'll like it. If you don't, you'll like the next one, maybe. Thank you guys for coming.
Dude,
I appreciate you.
course.
Thank you for coming,
Love you,
Danny.
dude.
You've
got
seen
it.
Danny a million times. You'll see him a million more. He loves being on this podcast, especially because there's video.
Yeah.
So he'll
Especially
do
for
it a
the
lot.
video.
He actually said he'll do a solo one soon. I won't even be here.
That would be sick.
Just Danny talking.
Just
Just Danny and Hemingway.
with Hemingway on his lap. Danny would be like, this would be Danny. He'd be like, what is cheese? He's like, how do you make a roux?
How do you make a
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. I love you. And to everybody out there,
I'm Will Wells, and this is an experiment. Danny, say it.
I'm Danny Shyman. This is an experiment.
and I'm Brad. And goodbye.
The experience is the experiment.